Bumble, how are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, I've just been gardening.
You lost interest, Bumble, didn't you? Thanks for joining us, by the way. You lost interest, you say, after the first 20 minutes of these two test matches.
Oh, only in the second one. I thought the first test match was a really good game, but the second just had an inevitability about it, really. You just knew what was going to happen. You read the script. It shouldn't be like that. A 5-day test match, it should ebb and flow, and you get the upper hand, and then you're on the sort of back foot, and then you come back again, and you'll find a winner. And I love test match cricket, but that would just, I knew exactly what's going to happen. So I just tended to just dip in and dip out, and with no real interest, which is not good, really.
Bumble, you've been a player, a coach, a commentator, an umpire. You're probably the most qualified person to comment on the pitch. It's split opinion so far, but what did you think to that pitch?
Well, there wasn't a pitch. It's as simple as that. I could go to town that it looked as if there were 3 stumps at one end and 3 at the other. And it's at the same venue that there's just been a wonderful test match in the first game. England shaded it. India could have won it. They had a bad period, so they lose the game. But they had months to prepare pitches, 2 pitches. You got months to prepare them. So, one was not prepared. The second pitch just had no preparation. And, there's a sadness about that and a bit of an anger as well, because the game doesn't deserve that. You need a surface. And I'm a massive believer, in a ball spinning from ball 1. Go on the subcontinent, it's going to spin. And I don't mind it spinning from ball 1, as long as there's a surface. Now, what I saw in that first 20 minutes, there's no surface to this. And I know what's going to happen. So cheerio, I'll do a bit of gardening.
And how is your garden?
My garden's lovely. I've just been pruning roses this morning and getting rid of leaves and what have you.
Very romantic.
Yeah.
We've obviously had a lot of fanfare on our social channels, Bumble, on the hashtag #AskBumble, funnily enough, imaginatively created. Fans have sent in loads of questions for you. Lots of them I'm sure you've been asked before. There's a few quirky ones in there as well, which always pleases me when people are creative with their questions for you. So we'll get going and we'll ask you a few. The first one is from Banham19, and I think this is impossible to pin down, but it's, what is the best England game that you've ever commentated on?
I'd go back to 2005 was an iconic series. That was I've just mentioned after 20 minutes I lose interest, I'm not bothered. That series, you couldn't take your eyes off it. It was a one-off series against a wonderful Australia team, wonderful. And England had got a team. They got a team together, and I thought they played superbly. And when you're planning any test match, the first thing you say is we've got to get 20 wickets. That's the first thing. So to get 20 wickets, you've got to have an attack. And that attack that they put together, I thought was absolutely awesome. They got everything covered. Steve Armisen at the top of his game. Matthew Hoggard, beautiful swing bowler. Flintoff, a big X factor. Simon Jones, rapid and reverse swing. And Gilo just doing a job. Gilo, not to be underestimated, round the wicket, over the wicket. And a bit of glue as well for your batting lineup. Ashley Giles, as brave as they come. I thought it was a irresistible series. So particularly not a game, but I can pick a moment, and I can't just remember moving on from that 2005. It might have been 2010-11 when Ricky Ponting knocked it to Flintoff at mid-on. And I'm on commentary, and it's like slow motion, like that. And I could tell exactly what's going to happen. And I think I was commentating, I think I was. And I kept thinking, come on, big lad. And he picked this up and he rocketed like an exocet. And Ricky, who's a great mate of mine, fantastic bloke, Ricky Ponting, fantastic bloke. And he's run him out. And I thought that was one moment you know, that really stands out in Ashes cricket.
Yeah, fantastic.
What a spectacle. That was a great answer as well, Bumble. Thanks for that. The next question is from you and BT, a little bit different to the last one, but what breed of dog do you own, Bumble?
Fox Terrier.
Oh, there you go.
And are you walking that round Bramall, are you? Bramall Park?
She's nearly 17 and she can't get far. She can't hear and she can't see. And, you know, she's in the twilight of her life. We look after her. We don't go anywhere without her. We live just backing onto the golf course and she can get onto a fairway and back. We've had 5 Fox Terriers. I've also had Golden Retrievers, Springers. The rest of my family have got Springers and they're brilliant, absolutely marvellous. We get the Springer from a lad who lives close by and he breeds them for the police, sniffer dogs. So you can imagine how intelligent these are. Brilliant. Fantastic dogs, the ones that we have, they're brilliant. And we got Dylan, he's nearly 5, he's Dylan. He hasn't barked once yet. He's not barked. He just sits and looks at you and find anything. He's a sniffer dog. They can find anything.
Fantastic.
Love that. Absolutely love that. This one's from Crownman on Twitter. Can England win this current series in India? I suppose that depends a lot on the pitch, Bumble, doesn't it?
Well, they go to Ahmedabad and it's a fairly new pitch and they get draws there. Normally it's as dead as a doornail and it would be a batting paradise. So we all wait and see what they're going to get. Can England win the series? Yes, they can. A lot depends on the toss. You know, Nasser and I slightly disagree that I think that when you go to India, win the toss, win the game. Now, that's how it's gone in the first 2. And so the toss is really important. England have got a good side. It could be better. The quality of spin bowling could be better, but understandably, there's a young 22, 23-year-old Dominic Best learning his trade. Moeen Ali hasn't played for 18 months. And Jack Leach is the senior spinner. What I would have moved heaven and earth for is to get Rashid there. Now, you know, I don't know what's gone on there, but I think Adil Rashid is absolutely on top of his game at 30, 31 years of age, knows all about leg spin, spins it both ways, and he's got one out to the front of the hand. But, you know, that's just not going to happen.
And it's a shame. It's a real shame because he's got a very good Barmy Army song as well. But that's one for another day. And
yeah.
Bumble from Oliver Salmon. Nasser, Athers or Keys?
Well, they're all stellar performers for a start. They're as good as it gets. They are 3 of my best mates, them 3. We have a lot of fun. If you want an insight into them all 3, I mean, Rob is so laid back, he's comatose, he's massive mates with Flintoff and Armisen, and he can't get a sentence out without mentioning the pair of them. Nasser is one of the most generous people you could meet, but doesn't sort of bring that across. I mean, everybody who says the tightest bloke. But I've worked with one who were 1,000,000 times tighter than him. But we won't mention names unless you get me in a dark room with a light on me. But Nasser's a generous man and cutting. What a cutting wit! Cutting. He can knock you down like you wouldn't believe, and he does often. And Atherton is life and soul. I mean, who would have thought that? You know, Michael Atherton, Paul Fair. He's life and soul. He just loves life. He's a fantastic character, unbelievably intelligent, far too intelligent, fabulous writer, one of the best commentators I've ever worked with, as he's and so I ain't separating them 3 because they're all, you know, great mates, and you can put Shane Warne in there. I mean, Shane is just, he's off, he's not on this planet. He really
I love that thing in the 05 Ashes video. I was watching it, and it's like that documentary that was presented by Mark Nicholas, and it cuts to Warne right at the start, And he says, there's a love affair between me and the England supporters. He goes, it's a love-hate relationship. He's like, I love them and they hate me. And and I actually disagree. I think we all love Shane Warne, don't we, in this country?
Well, he's fantastic company. I don't mind telling you bits and pieces about him. That he came to me and he said, I've got a great idea. I've got a management company. I've got to manage. I said, all right, yeah. He said, I've got a great idea. He said, well, just you and me, just you and me. He said, and we'll do extreme commentary. I said, what do you mean? He said, like, real into it and swearing and shouting. And I said, where's this going out? He said, it's only on the internet. I said, oh, only on the internet. Effing and blinding and shouting at the umpire and calling them all the names under the sun, the players. I said, yeah, it's great. I said, we do it once and then we both get the sack. Yeah. And then he'll say to me, what are you doing tonight? What are you doing? Well, like usual, I'll have a couple of beers and a curry. Right. Meet me at 12 o'clock. I'll take you to a club. I said, what do I want to go to a club for? I'm 70. For a good why do you at midnight? I said, no. Oh, come on. No, I'm not interested. So, I mean, he lives life to the full. As a lot of them do, these great players, there's a lot of these greats who don't need sleep. They don't sleep. I'm out of it. 9 o'clock, 9:30, I'm tucked up. I'm happy. But lads, I could ream them off. They go out at midnight. They don't go out till midnight. And they're as bright as buttons the day after. Not for me.
Oh,
subject of going out, from Alice Evans. Apart from Sweet Caroline, what's your favourite karaoke song to sing?
Now then, Folsom Prison Blues.
Ooh.
Johnny Cash.
Wow.
I can do Johnny Cash. I can do a couple other Neil Diamonds. I'd do The Fall if I knew any of the words, but I can't tell he's saying anything. I like The Fall. I love The Fall. But I've no idea what he's on about, Smith. Not a clue. And I mean, one of my mates who I got involved in Twitter, and he's an ex-cricketer, league cricketer, club cricketer, and he was good. He played Staffordshire League at a time, so you can put an age to it, when Gary Sobers and Wesley Hall were playing Staffordshire League. And we're in New Zealand. And I get a call. I'm commentating upstairs. You know what it's like. You've got to have a bit of a pass to get up there. A security guy comes and he says that the fella downstairs from England wants to have a word with you. And it's pretty relaxed, as you know, in New Zealand. I said, well, if you can bring him up, that's fine. And he come up and he got a football shirt on. And I'm just thinking, Barmy Army. He's Barmy Army. And he said, how are you? I said, I'm great. Yeah. He said, oh, ball left arm spin. I said, oh, fabulous. Played in the Staffordshire League. All right. I said, are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying you? He said, yeah, oh, brilliant. Absolutely loving it. He said, I said, are you on tour? And I'm just thinking, Barmy Army. I said, are you enjoying the tour? He said, oh, yeah, world class. Absolutely world class. It's going great. He said, we're going back to Australia. I thought, well, we're not. What do you mean? I said, what do you mean you're going back to Australia? He said, we've got another couple of gigs to do in Australia. I said, are you with the Barmy Army? He said, no. He said, I'm with my lad. I said, who's your lad? He said, Robbie Williams. Oh, I said, right. And so Pete, his dad, he's called Pete Conway, but his proper name's Pete Williams, but his stage name's Pete Conway. So when Robbie does his gigs, halfway through, he said, I want to bring my dad on. Oh. And the pair of them do Sweet Caroline.
No.
Yeah, so go on Twitter, go to Popper Pete, at Popper Pete. That's Pete Conway, and he's Robbie Williams, his dad. And he played Staffordshire League cricket.
We'll have to get him on.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you just ask one question and that's your hour gone.
Love that. I love the sound of that. That's proper.
He'll come on. Pete will come on. He'll definitely come on, and you can reminisce about his cricket. He was, what was it called? You lads in Stoke. There was a nightclub in Stoke, which was the biggest nightclub in Europe, and he was the MC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I forgot. If you Google Stoke nightclub of the 50s and 60s, it'll tell you they all played there. Everybody played that nightclub. It wasn't a nightclub as we know it, but you know what I mean.
Are you still in touch with him?
Hey,
are you still in touch with him?
Every day. just go. You need to just go on his Twitter, follow him, Papa Pete, and he always puts his breakfast up. He always puts him for his breakfast.
That's brilliant. Hey, Papa Pete, if you're watching this on Barmy Army TV, give him a follow. You never know, it might be popping up here in a few weeks' time. Also, from James, and I do know the answer to this one. This is another question we've had from hashtag Ask Bumble. But what's the story behind the nickname Bumble for our viewers?
1960s, Michael Bentine had a caricature animated thing called the Bumblies, and they reckon I look like them. So if you think of The Simpsons, it was just like that, but it was called the Bumblies. And they reckon I look like the Bumblies. And it was just a Lancashire second 11 dressing room, which stuck. Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's just about stuck, isn't it? Blooming heck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and me. So I've got 3 lads and a daughter, and my eldest lad, they all call him Bumble as well.
We've got that problem with Rooty, because Rooty's dad, who's a Barmy Army member, tours all over with us. When everyone calls him Rooty, he puts everyone right. He says, "No, he's not Rooty. I'm Rooty. I've always been Rooty."
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I were always at school. I was just Lloydie. That was it. And then when I went to play cricket, it sort of changed to Bumble. And there's folk think it's my proper name. They think that's what I'm called. No, I'm not. Bloody hell.
I absolutely love it. Bumble, thank you very much for talking to us here on Barmy Army TV. Absolute pleasure.